There is an extremely harsh rhetoric from the US president towards what does all this mean? What is happening as far as Russia is concerned?
Zelensky makes inappropriate remarks about heads of state. He's done it many times. President Trump won the election with a result that is unique for America, even in the states that were in doubt. President Trump has party control in both houses. So in terms of the sustainability of his authority and his power, he is an absolutely unique president of the United States. And of course, no president would tolerate that kind of attitude. And neither will the president's team or his associates. So this reaction is understandable. But it is important for us that nothing prevents us from realizing this political will of the two heads of state to enter the process of peaceful regulation. We are maintaining our openness. President Putin is consistent in his approach. He is no less unique a president than Trump. He is a president who has been in power for 25 years. And the level of popular support for him is unprecedentedly off the charts, no matter what anyone says. And this is a president around whom the consolidation of society is also absolutely incredible in today's world. This is despite that this is a president who is absolutely far from populism. And being far from populism, he still retains such a level of public support. So here is a dialogue between two really outstanding presidents. This is promising. What is important is that nothing should interfere with the realization of their political will.
You said about President Trump's party control. So it's particularly noteworthy that the Republican Party has initiated a bill to withdraw the US from the UN. If that happens all of a sudden, would that be the final breakdown of the entire world order?
Let's wait and see how serious it is. The thing is that this party is not homogeneous. It has its differences and so on. But as far as the UN is concerned, we have nothing to replace the UN with. And in the current global situation, we obviously have no possibility of agreeing on a new UN. Now, it is impossible to imagine that the Russians, Americans, French, Germans, British would agree on the creation of a new UN. There is no such possibility. Accordingly, whether it works effectively, less effectively, or completely ineffective, it is better for us to think about how to improve this efficiency than to think about how to get rid of this organization.
There is a danger that under such pressure, Zelensky will end up selling off the whole of Ukraine, basically handing it over to the United States. And it turns out that we will have to deal with the fact that our former territories are practically handed over to the USA, and on top of that, most likely, within the internationally recognized borders.
The most important thing for us is that people, DPR, Kherson region, Zaporozhye, have long ago decided to join Russia. Therefore, no one will ever sell off these territories.
There is a signal from the highest level, at least from the US resident, that he is ready for a meeting. If we have such signals, it means that everyone should work towards Ukraine conflict settlement quite actively and quickly.
This work is ongoing and will continue. Our diplomats have been instructed to quickly assemble expert-level groups to begin negotiations on all relevant issues. First of all, we agreed to start with normalizing the work of embassies, because the embassies are absolutely paralyzed in their work, both their embassy in Moscow and our embassy in Washington. We must first acquire diplomatic potential, resuscitate it, and then it will work.
Once the rude behavior towards the embassy was one of the main irritants and aggravators of the crisis in Russian-American relations. So now the signals are very favorable.
Well, at first it was simply a political decision to curtail dialogue with Russia. And the paralysis in the embassy's work is a consequence of that decision. Now, if we proceed from the fact that we don't have to agree, but we do have to talk, we prefer this approach. And of course, first of all, we need to start with embassies, with diplomatic departments.